Hello, welcome back to my channel, Charlie's Lessons. In this video, we'll take a look at ProProfs Quiz Maker, the world's easiest online quiz software. And because it's the easiest, it's the favorite of H&R compliance officers, learning and development teams, business owners and training managers, but also course creators, government and non-profits, corporate trainers and educators like you and me. As I said before, ProProfs Quiz Maker is the world's easiest online quiz software. It's a 100% cloud-based tool used for creating professional grade and secure quizzes and assessments. It's widely used for employee training, hiring, and education. So whether your goal is onboarding, compliance, or evaluation, ProProfs Quiz Maker is fast, easy, and reliable. Some of the reasons I'm looking forward to introducing to you today ProProfs Quiz Maker is that it has a variety of question types, meaning that you can adapt questions to the needs of your students. It grades automatically, so you forget about checking the answers and going through correcting. And also it has an AI quiz generator by taking any document and converting it immediately into a quiz. So here I am on the Quiz Maker homepage. So we're going to go to the right hand side and go to create a quiz. And the first thing it's going to offer you is the option to upload a document and then click generate quiz. You can see now that the PDF has been loaded up, and I'm just going to go to this button here, generate quiz. And in no time, it's going to build a quiz of 8 questions that is built around the document that you uploaded. And there you have it. It's ready to go. If we go to the left-hand side, we can see the 8 questions that were built. And you can see here, each of the questions is currently multiple choice. You can change that by just going to edit and changing the question types to the ones that you want. And here, ready to go, is my Little Red Riding Hood quiz, which is perfect for my students, especially my younger students in my school who have actually got to read this book this year in their English literature class. Talking about question types, let's go take a look at what other question types we can use in quizzes apart from multiple choice. So here I am back on the Quiz Maker page, and instead of going to the AI generator, I'm going to just scroll down and take a look at some of the templates. So you can see here I've got from business to holiday to education, which is probably what we're most interested in. In fact, there are over 100,000 templates that you can use. So if you are looking for something more specific, it might already be in the library, meaning that you don't have to waste time building a quiz from scratch or even building one with AI, because there will be one ready for you to use with your students. We're going to go to create your own. And the next step is just go to add a question. And here we're going to see all different types of questions. So we've got multiple choice, checkboxes, a whole host of question types that are very typical and the ones that we need as educators. And some of the key ones I want to show you are, firstly, I want to take a look at the upload audio video, record audio and video, and also the hotspot question type, which I think these are the key ones. One that I personally really like also is upload, because when we set our students homework, it means they can upload their document right here. Let me show you a quiz that I've made for my students that includes some of those question types I mentioned. If you like what you're seeing so far, don't forget to go check out my link to ProProfs Quiz Maker in the description below. So here is a quiz that I've made, and the focus is on the past simple and using it to talk about the past. And so the way I've built this is I've started just with some general review of some regular verbs in English that are converted from the past to the present and vice versa. So you can see here I've got some a choice of verb and a match. So for example, arrive would go with arrived. Then we have some vocabulary, some typical vocabulary that students would use when they're talking about traveling. And then here I can show you an example of a hotspot question. So here I'm asking the students to choose the destination or the place where they went on their last holiday. So the way this works is students are going to see this map and they're just going to click on the destination. And this is important for me because next class I'm going to ask them some follow-up questions. So it'd be useful to know where they actually went and what part of the world. If I wanted to change this picture, I could use a whole host of other pictures. So for example, here on the right, we can see there are some pictures that are more suitable perhaps for children. Here, children are being asked to identify maybe bus, car, truck, etc. And here on the right, we've got a human body. So students are being asked to identify part of the anatomy. But you can also use Google here on the right to upload any image, or search for any images that you want to include. Now, this is probably the most interesting for me. I have now a question where the students now have to produce orally a anecdote or the description of their last holiday. So you can see here I've got a record button and an upload button. Now I'm just going to show you, if I go to advanced here at the bottom, I have an option here to choose between the recording type. Now I've chosen audio because I would prefer not to record the image of my students, but what I'm interested in is the audio. There are some other options here, for example, how long you want to record your students for. Now, I've got it set to 45 seconds because these are low-level students, so I don't want to put too much pressure on them. And I'm also giving them the option to retake. In the English language sector, a lot of the examination companies recently have developed online tests, which means that students can just do the test from the comfort of their own home. And ProProfs is no different. It also has features that are going to allow us to take the assessment online. So here we are back on the quiz that I made on the pass symbol for my students. But let's imagine that I'd like to use this as a more formal assessment for my students. So I'm just going to go to settings in the top here, and I'm going to go to the category of security. And so some of the first things I can set up, I can actually set a password, meaning that only selected students can join. I can disable the student's ability to download or copy the test, and something really useful here, I can actually disable tab switching. So as you can imagine, when a student's online taking a test, they might have on another tab some useful information or a cheat sheet, let's say, that they can use to answer some of the questions in your test. So I've actually disabled this. I can block retakes by IP, and also proctoring. Now this is going to mean that you're going to have to upgrade your plan, but this gives it an extra added layer of security that you can't really find anywhere else on the internet for this kind of service. And this is called proctoring. So this means someone is going to enter live during the test and supervise or invigilate the student while they're doing their test. Another really useful feature that helps provide more security when we're taking tests online is this one here. This is just shuffling the questions. So let's imagine that you want to do this test in a larger room with more students, and we have the classic case of students looking over each other's shoulders to see what answer they gave. Well, in this case, the questions that each student has will be in a completely different order, meaning that you can avoid this problem. So you're probably wondering, when my students take this test, where do I see the results? And this is where ProProfs Quiz Maker has its best feature. It's automatic grading system. And to find this, all we need to do is just find a quiz that we've shared with our students and go to reports. So here I am on my quiz page, and we can see here just under one of the latest quizzes I've made, I've got a little 1 next to reports. So I'm going to click on this and we should get a breakdown of the last time someone did this quiz. So we're seeing here a lot of data. We've got the date, the names of the students, and also their email. And also, very importantly, you can see that the number 62.5 is in red. And this is because I set 70 as the pass grade. And I can see here something else. There only took 39 seconds on this test. And this is one of the biggest problems I have at my school, is that our students are set exams and they're given a time limit, but a lot of them just finish in such a quick period of time that they're out of the door and home, and it ends up they've actually failed and they haven't spent time looking over it. So knowing how long a student has taken on any given test is really useful information. Now we're going to delve a little bit deeper and go into view report by clicking on this little eye icon here. Every student or participant on any of your quizzes is by default given a certificate, and you can see an example here. Now you can edit this, so if this doesn't fit in with your school's logo or color scheme, then you can change this completely. But just as to give you an example, I can see here that my student has been given a certificate regardless because, he tried anyway. And if we scroll down, we actually see where the student went wrong. And this section here, I'm actually given an opportunity as the teacher to give my student some feedback. Now, if I'm not going to see my student in class, I might prefer to give this feedback written. And so I would write a message here, click on post, and I've got an option here to notify the learner, which means that a message will be sent to that student's email address, notifying that I've given some written feedback. With ProProfs Quiz Maker, there are so many benefits and features that are already being used in the business world that I think could transition really well into the classroom. So if you're looking for a tool that means you can assess your students online, that you can build quizzes instantly for your students on any topic, and you can also use question types that are going to be really suitable for your students no matter what their needs, then I think ProProfs Quiz Maker could be a really useful tool for you. So if you are interested, like I said before, go check out the link in the description and get started today. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.